Hey dolls, it's Andra. Today we're taking a look at Ken from the latest Barbie looks line. Really quickly, I'm just going to show you guys what he comes with. A stand, as well as a certificate of authenticity. This certificate is not numbered because he is a black label doll. This Ken is a little iconic because he is the first Ken to feature the new Made to Move buff body. He has a big stature, kind of like the broad Ken body, but also is definitely very sculpted. There is a lot of muscle definition in this body. He is even more defined in that sense as compared to the regular Ken and the skinny Ken body. Because he's a made to move body, he has the chest joint, the shoulder joints, the double jointed elbows, the wrist articulation, the hip joints, double jointed knees, and of course the ankle joints. I got my Ken in store, and something I noticed about him is that his hip joints are a little loose. Not crazy loose, but way looser than I expected them to be. So that might be something to look out for. I did actually sift through all the Kens they had there, and I will say the quality control in these is pretty good because I couldn't really find any Ken with any facial screening issues or anything of the sort, and everyone's clothes were all in check. Speaking of his face, this is the taped sculpt, and it is a fairly new sculpt. This is the third time that we're seeing it being used. It is dated 2019, and the very first time that we ever saw this sculpt was on the BMR 1959 Redhead Ken, the one with the split dye hoodie and sort of yellow track pants. I love this sculpt. It's one of my favorite guy sculpts. He has dimples, if you can tell, which I think make him a little more unique. Not that I particularly like dimples. I do like his facial structure, and I think that's the main reason why I like this face. And so far, the dolls with this sculpt have been pretty cool. I think the screening on this Ken is also pretty good. I particularly like how he has a whole beard going on and a stash. I think the way they've done this beard is pretty impressive. It looks so natural. I'm trying my best to get as close up of a shot of his beard as I can for you guys, but if you notice, there are very subtle sort of patches in his beard which make it look supernatural. Not supernatural, but like super natural. And if you get a chance to see him in real life, you might notice that he has differently drawn hair follicles. So it's not just the standard one repeating over and over again, which I think just adds to the depth and realism of his beard. The little hair is actually very in length, thickness, and direction. Also, I think they kind of nailed the shade of brown to match his hair and eyebrows, as well as to give a believable look to his beard. His hair is gelled, and it's gelled to high heaven. So essentially, the only teeny tiny little part that isn't gelled is this little bit up front, and you can feel that that's soft. All of this is gelled, but it does its job really well. I do like this hairstyle, even though it's a bit generic for boy dolls, and I wish we saw a little bit more variety. I guess this is simple to do. This Ken in particular has gone through quite a lot of tossing around, but his gel has done a really good job at keeping his hair good. If anything, it used to be something like this, which is a very slight difference, especially relative to how much he's been through these past couple of days. I would be a little nervous about washing the gel out of his hair, but that is absolutely because I am not a doll hairstylist in any way, shape, or form. So if you can deal with that, I mean, by all means. Okay, a little bit of a horror moment, but just to show you, the sides of his head are flocked, and the flocking comes up to about there, so it's shorter in the back, or at least it looks shorter, but I suppose maybe it's about the same, and it comes round. The flocking is really soft and it does not come off. There isn't really much to say about his outfit, but I think he fit the brief, he fit the assignment. He is a Barbie Lux doll, and the theme for this line is color blocking. It's really fun, slightly sporty. I think he's got that. The line is very cohesive, and I think the materials are about the same all around. In case you're wondering, his pieces are separate and Velcro at the back. I do, however, have one complaint for this doll, and it's not exactly for the doll himself, but it is for his stand. So his stand is larger, he has a larger base, and his waist clip is wider, but his stand spine stick thing is not longer, and the problem is that he is so tall that he comes up to around here, and so if you want to move him or pose him even slightly differently, this thing tends to pop off. Either this clip slides off entirely, or the stick stand pops off of the base. I don't understand why they couldn't just make this just a little bit longer, especially since they made a wider clip and base. I don't get it. Other than that, I do think he is a great doll, especially for this price point. I think that's the sweet spot for the Barbie Lux line. They are kind of like an in-between of collector and play line. It seems like they're aimed more at adults. Obviously kids can get them too, but this line is not really bombarded with accessories and colors and all those like playline things, you know, and it even comes with a stand and a skirt. And the looks are a little bit more toned down, a little bit more sophisticated, a bit more refined. It seems like a way to encourage adult collectors to play and move around with their dolls instead of just keeping them on a shelf, and to get creative with doll photography or what else have you. So I think that's a really cool idea, and I think it's a fair price for what we're getting, because we do see a lot of variety in skin tone, in body type, in facial structures and features, in hair textures and in hair colors. There's a lot of variety, so we're getting the diversity of a fashionista line, but made for adults and on made to move bodies, so we can actually kind of do things with them like stop motion and whatever else. So I think that is really cool. The fashions are a little bit more mature, so we don't see like Ken in a Malibu tank top type situation, or Barbie in like a hideous dress. It's a little bit more fashionable, a little bit more for adults, and you can style and swap the pieces. So I think this is a fantastic line if you are into this sort of playline collector thing as an adult. And I would highly recommend this candle if you are interested. So that's all I have to say for him. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.